to the S4 studio, so to speak. Glad you're here.
Thanks for having me here, Derek. It's my pleasure.
All right, so you are representing TX1.
Exactly, yes.
And I know one thing that we should just get out of the way. People want to know what's going on in those prime rooms. So what is TX1 going to be doing in the prime room this year?
Yeah, we have a very nice demo wall. Right on the demo wall, we have the real ICS devices, field devices, like sensors, like a small pump, fire sensors, and some controllers from different vendors, and some SCADA servers. And surely with some attacking program and our solutions there. I mean, at TX1, we believe we have to protect those mission critical assets throughout their life cycle. So we demonstrate from supply chain security, you want to inspect those machines before they come into the plant. And some agent-based solutions we can running on the machine, or network security appliances that we can inspect the traffic between the machines. And we will show how easy to deploy and manage them, and also how they will secure the operations without impact the operations and productivity. That's the key.
So the operation, this wall you have, it's got sort of operational endpoints in it, and your equipment as well, and so you can sort of demonstrate how it all works in harmony.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it kind of like simulate the real environment at our customers' shop floor or plant floor.
Yeah.
So with real devices and with our solutions together.
That's awesome. So, and you'll be there, would that be, the primary room be open all 3 days?
Yeah, definitely. And on the first day, which means Tuesday, we also have Mr. Roger Day. He's from Lam Research. And as you know, Lam Research is a key supplier at semiconductor sector. And now supply chain cybersecurity is a big thing at a semiconductor industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, the customers of Lam Research want to make sure when they receive the product from Lam Research, they are all clean without the hidden viruses. So Lam, together working with TX1, to create some process. So before they ship their product to the supplier, they would use our solutions to inspect that machine and create some reports, such like malware report, vulnerability report, and even including maybe other processes and applications on that machine, so that when their customer receives the bugs, they know what they're going to have, right? And they really love it. So for Lam, they are not just using the solution to ship the product to their customer. They also ask their supplier to do the same thing to them.
So the whole chain is
protected. It's a trend. It's protected.
Yeah.
So Mr. Roger Day is going to share his experiences and the insights.
Awesome. So that'll just be day one.
Day one. Yeah,
okay.
Tuesday.
Okay. Awesome. That's good. I'm glad that came up because some people might want to catch that.
Please welcome. Yeah.
Okay. Very, very cool. I mean, I'm just curious. What's your, maybe you talk a little about what you do, what your role at TX1 is.
Oh, I'm the CEO, founder and the CEO from the day one. Yeah.
So I thought that might be something interesting for you to share. Maybe talk about what was the original vision?
So TX1 was founded in 2019. So at that time, there were already maybe 20 asset discovery tool vendors there, including some big names.
Yeah.
And so we decided, no, we're not going to just replicate another asset discovery tool.
Yeah.
Instead, we believe the next step is to provide actual protection to the machines at the shop floor. Because in the end of the day, for OT, the top priority is their operations. So our slogan, although we are a cybersecurity company, our slogan is keep operations running. Okay, but for the modern factories or plant floor, a lot of operation has been automated. And so a lot of operations actually are carried out by the machines. But how can we protect those machines? So we think about the important keys are how can we have those secure operations? Because throughout the life cycle of the machine, it involves different operations. For example, as a factory, you purchase a machine. You have a machine moving in process, right? And before you can really have the machine running at the shop floor, you might want to, well, patch the machine or harden the machine. And during the production stage, you have a lot of different operations, such like remote access, because you want to remote control the machine, or you want to receive or send data back and forth between the machines. So how, and like a backup, right? Backup is a part of the operations. But how can we do all these operations securely? So that's what we do. So at the TX1, we pick up very important operations, such like supply chain inspection, such like hardening, especially for those legacy systems, such like network segmentation and virtual patching. Why virtual patching? Because lots of machines, they don't really have enough time to patch the software or the applications. So we build all these security blocks for our customers to adopt so that they can immediately enhance and improve their cybersecurity posture. But in addition to security itself, I believe security officers or the guy who in charge of OT security has to think about that not impact the operations and not impact the productivity.
Security has to be it's important, but it has to be secondary to we got to do what our mission is.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
And that's the operations, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of time, especially for when we talking to the manufacturers, we have to talk to two different groups of people: the security team and the plant director.
Yeah. Essential but different stakeholders.
and their priority apparently is very different.
Yeah.
But normally, especially for manufacturer, OT cybersecurity, it's the CISO team in charge of the OT security.
Yeah.
But they also have to shoulder the responsibility that whatever security measure they take, it's not going to impact the operation and the productivity.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the technology itself, right? It's a cybersecurity. It's people, process, and technology.
PPT.
And so for TX1, our solutions, are not deployed up to like 30,000 feet of the OT. Our solutions are onto the machine and next to the machine.
Level zero.
So we have to overcome the differences between the vertical, and because it's on the machine, so we have to have our customer remove their anxiety that the solution is going to impact the operation or impact the productivity again. So it's totally natively designed for OT, very easy to use, very easy to manage. So we developed the product for sure, but afterwards, and after working with the industry leaders in a variety of sectors, so we have very reputable customers in like a semiconductor, automotive, food and beverage, and the critical infrastructure operators, such like utility, oil and gas, transportation, etc. So by working with these leaders, we are actually together create the best practices for them.
Cross-vertical.
Well, cross-vertical, but for each vertical.
Yeah, but you guys are cross-vertical, but what you're saying, and it makes sense, you're saying there is the nuances of that particular kind of manufacturer or whatever is different than this oil refinery or a company. So that you've paid attention to those differences, but your company can address across.
That's important because if you look into the shop floor of semiconductor, it's a bunch of very expensive machine, right? As expensive as maybe $300 million each, right, from SML, right?
Very important asset.
Yeah. So it's about a chemical process.
Yeah.
But if you go to the automotive OEM, especially, it's actually more like a robot arms, assembly the car components.
Yeah.
So they are very different. But nobody else before trying to deploy solutions onto these machines. So people really have to know that these solutions don't really impact their operations.
Yeah.
But we're not just create those technologies. We also working with leaders and learn about how they deploy, how they manage it.
Yeah.
Basically the process. So the process means who is going to do this, and like when, like how, and what if a virus is found? What's the process? If there's no virus found, what's the process? And a lot of companies, they don't really start the whole journey because they lack of people, process, and technology.
Yeah.
So I think working with the leaders in different verticals, that's essential, because by working with them, those process, we co-define together, eventually become the best practices for that vertical, and that can propagate to
I
other
love that
guys.
message.
Yeah, so that's what we do.
Yeah, that's got to make your customers quite happy that you have empathy for their reality. That's not always the case.
Well, otherwise, that's the only way it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, good security is going to come from that understanding, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to work that way. We've sort of already done it, but maybe there's something you'll add to it. The theme for this year is create the future of OT ICS security. So I have some idea how you're creating the future for this, things you've already shared. Is there anything else you would add that you think you're doing at TX1? Maybe things you're thinking about, sort of, the creating the future of this industry.
Yeah, I would say AI. Although AI is something everybody will talk about, but I think from a couple angles, right? One is AI is definitely would accelerate the needs of OT cybersecurity. You think about right? I mean, agentic AI, where AI could interact with other AI.
Transformation.
Yeah. So that thing where in the very near future, you will see a lot of AI programs run the operations at OT. And at the CES this year, Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, he demonstrated a very tiny box, like a lunch box. He called Project Digits. So basically, it's a tiny lunch box with very powerful GPU inside. And then in last month, DeepSeek, right? The China invented technology, which only take a fraction of the computing power needed by OpenAI, but very, very powerful. So if you combine the concept of Project Digits from NVIDIA, bless you, and the DeepSeek, so you can really see that in the very near future, you will have a lot of AI boxes running in the shop floor and the plant floor. So that actually just enable more and more data being exchanged from the machine and from the computing through the network. And so people will need more cybersecurity at OT. But on the other hand, how can we use AI to enhance the cybersecurity at the OT? Always I joke about there are maybe 7,000 cybersecurity vendors in the world. And every one of them said, we're using AI.
Of course. It's the term of the day.
Yeah, to enhance the detection logic of their solutions.
Yeah.
But I think top on that, can we use AI to enhance the governance too, especially for OT? How do you know you have better cybersecurity posture comparing to other guys in your sector? Can we use AI to lessen, to remove that anxiety that the solutions could impact the productivity, right? I mean, we want to use AI to help our customer to create their own process in deploying cybersecurity at shop floor.
Yeah.
Again, who, what, when, how, right? I mean, because by working with the Fortune 1000 leaders in the world and across different verticals, we actually accumulate a lot of knowledge base, and we are feeding those knowledge to AI.
Yeah.
And with those Gen AI technology, that interactive communication, I think a lot of our customers and the prospect eventually will benefit from this kind of technology. That's where we are heading to.
Yeah, I love your vision for the future, and it is a we're at a unique transformational stage with this. I mean, at the beginnings, I've heard of, from people like thinking there's all this stuff happening, but the true expertise, have said we're at the very, very, very beginning of stage of how this is all going to, play out and affect our lives, and so it makes sense to have that as part of your future vision. It'll be used by everybody, including threat actors, but on the protection side, defense side, it behooves us to take full advantage of it as well. That makes sense.
It sounds it sounds very complex, but actually at the TX1 we do whatever we can to make it easier. I mean, cybersecurity for large enterprise has a history for more than 30 years. So if you remember the buzzword of cybersecurity in IT, I think the hottest one could be zero trust and platformization. And so I'm really surprised, when people talk about OT cybersecurity, the first thing in their head is a platform. A lot of my customers, where they are Fortune 500, big organization.
Yeah.
They have tens of thousands of machines with Microsoft Windows and Linux operating system without any protection.
Yeah.
And they don't patch them either. So if that's the current posture, the platformization doesn't really work. Platform will work because you have a lot of different solutions, and they need to work with each other and create a context. And that's when the platformization should kick in. And so at the TX1, because we are 6 years old, so we also have our own platform. But again, I think we also address those secure operation thing to fulfill the needs of secure operation by providing easy to use, easy to manage solutions for people to address their supply chain cybersecurity, their endpoint protection, network segmentation, and virtual patching. And when they think, okay, they already addressed the number one needs or number two needs, and then gradually they can put these things onto the platform and connect the platform to the IT platform to extend the visibility and control for the CISO from IT to OT to the whole organization. I think that's probably, piece by piece.
Yeah.
Not just OT cybersecurity. My experience, you don't really just aim for perfect in the very beginning as your first step. You want to do that piece by piece. Start from somewhere. Do something.
Yeah, exactly. Because this could be paralyzing to try to just get to here and celebrate that.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that as well. It's like a ladder, and just celebrate each of the steps you can make. Yeah, I think people are overwhelmed by the big picture. Well, I love your vision for what you're doing, and I really love, as a former recovering solution entrepreneur myself, I love your customer focus on understanding them and making sure that whatever you're suggesting is what they really can use. And the PPT part is huge. I think the people part gets overlooked sometimes. It's like, well, without the right people, tools can't be properly put to use. It's a harmony, right? So.
Yeah. Because a lot of vendors they just said you can protect what you can see. It's true, but I think it's just a starting point.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, we have to think about governance, and the definition of governance from CISA is you really have to protect those operations from being interrupted by cyber attack or cyber criminals.
Yeah.
So that's a holistic thing, but we need to start from somewhere.
Yeah. Terrence, this was a real pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thank you for coming on, and I hope people stop by the TX1 room and find out, check your wall out. I'm going to go check it out for sure.
Please,
Yeah.
third floor.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.